Tony Pettiti's proposed 16-team college football playoff bracket sucks. It's one of the worst things I have seen in college football playoff in recent memory. In fact, I will correct myself there. It's the worst thing I've seen in 2025, the worst thing I saw in 2024. It's the worst thing I've seen in my time as a college football fan, which isn't long. It's only about half a decade, maybe 6 years, 5 to 6 years about is how long I've been a passionate college football fan. It's pretty bad. And you could probably extend this to being one of the worst ideas in college football or proposed to change college football for much longer back than just 5 or 6 years, my time being a fan of this sport. Let me explain how this works, and then I'm going to show you a visual aid. So how this works is you have 16 teams making the playoff. Sounds good. You think, even number that's divisible by 2, that's divisible by, now I'm messing myself up and making myself look bad. But the point is, it's divisible such that there doesn't have to be any buys. Every team can get a home game. More stadium games. That's what you're thinking. And you're also thinking that there's no more buys for teams. Well, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. There will be more home games, and that's a good thing, but buys remain. And instead of having, we're just going to have, 4 rounds, instead of having that, oh no. We got to have 5 rounds. Of course, the 5th and final one being the national championship game. It's not really a round, but still, we have to have 5 rounds, and we got to give the top 2 teams double buys. We got to make this even more NFL than it already is. And I'm saying this with a smile, but in fact, this makes me really angry and furious. This is stupid. Let me show you what the Big Ten commissioner is proposing here. So I have this up on screen, so whiteboard. I spent a few minutes of my time doing this. I know you probably can't see this super well, but the purple marker are the SEC teams. The light blue one that you can probably barely see are the Big Ten teams. The SEC, this is a model right here where the SEC gets 4 auto bids. The Big Ten also gets 4. The ACC gets 2. The Big 12 gets 2. The Group of 5 gets 1. There are 3 at-large bids. And I also heard from someone they may be shrinking that down to 1 auto bid. Or not 1 auto bid, but 1 at-large bid, and then giving the other 2, one to the Big 12 and ACC, which would be horrible. I mean, do you seriously think that we needed Iowa State or BYU instead of South Carolina or Ole Miss or instead of Illinois in the playoffs? Seriously? I don't get this. I don't get this model at all. We have 2. Hey guys, we have a first 4 in college football now. That's what we're going to have. We're going to have a first 4. This is going to be March Madness watered down to such a cancerous degree that I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, this right here is mental illness. What is this? South Carolina and Ole Miss already played each other in the regular season, and they're not playing for a chance at the quarterfinals. They're playing at a chance for the first round. Why? Why does this have to be a play-in game? You're basically saying this should be a 14-team college football playoff, but 2 of the spots we're going to give out of the kindness of our hearts. This is stupid. Just make it what a traditional 16-team playoff would be. No buys, 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, and we all have fun. I don't get why we have to make it more complicated than it has to be. I mean, a 16-team playoff is simple. It's like a 4-team playoff. It's like an 8-team playoff. It's like the BCS, a 2-team playoff, a 1v2, neutral field, cool site. They play for the crown. I mean, what is this? You have Clemson and Miami playing, guess who? Texas in this model. Well, Texas is going to beat them. We already saw that play out. And then what, they're going to get a rematch with Georgia here, and then Ohio State versus Alabama. That'd actually be pretty entertaining. They play Tennessee, and Tennessee, I didn't even write down who Tennessee faces, but Tennessee plays someone at home. Tennessee would probably beat whoever they play in Neyland. And I mean, yeah, it's beyond ridiculous in my mind. It's so ridiculous. I don't even know what to say, honestly, to this. I mean, Tennessee will beat whoever they play. Ohio State beats Bama, and it's the same thing. Look at this. Ohio State would play Tennessee. Well, we've already seen that before. It's going to be a blowout. It's not going to be fun at all. Penn State's playing the winner of Ole Miss, South Carolina. It's the Abdul Carter versus a team with no offensive line bowl. Dead. Notre Dame plays Arizona State. How do you think that would play out? Since Notre Dame actually had good play calling, and Texas honestly didn't have much of that last year. Well, that's a win for Notre Dame. Indiana, Boise, I hate to tell you, Indiana crushed everyone who had similar talent to them. It's an Indiana blowout. So if all you want to do is create more games, more eyeballs, which is what these people want, then fine. But you can get that with the original 16-team concept of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, of having 8 home campus games that are all a part of the same round, and 1 playing 16, and 2 playing 15, and 8 playing 9, which does happen here, but you don't have these weird playing games. Now, I understand in part, of course, they're doing this because they think that 15 versus 14 and 16 versus 13, which is what the playing games would be more entertaining than 16 versus 1 and 15 versus 2. And to a certain degree, they would be correct on that. But again, they're trying to make the playoff like the NFL. They're trying to make college football like the NFL. Whether they actually want to or not, that's going to be the result with something like this. And I'm sorry, but I don't think any team, I hope you all can hear me because I'm constantly turning my head, but I think you can. No team deserves a double bye. That is an NFL thing. Keep that far away from here. It's an NFL thing. In college football, everyone's talking about equality of opportunity. The playoff will even tell you this is for equality of opportunity. Equality of opportunity is making sure that everyone has equal amounts of rest. It is giving Clemson, the 16 seed, or South Carolina, the 15 seed, it's giving them the same amount of rest as Georgia and Oregon. And there's also problems with this too. Why does Arizona State and Boise State, why do they deserve more rest than South Carolina and Clemson, who actually played quality strengths of schedule? Why? It's just, this is vomit worthy. This is bloody vomit worthy. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. This is horrible. This is a war crime. And to Tony Pettiti, I know you don't listen to my show. I mean, I don't think much of anyone in the college football hierarchy listens to these shows, unless it's something like Josh Pates or Joel Klatz that's just so big you can't ignore it. But I mean, even a viewer right here is telling me no double bye in the NFL, and I didn't even think there was a double bye in the NFL system. But that's further to my point that they're trying to make college football the NFL, but even worse. The NFL is a quality product. The NFL is rules. The NFL is an authority system. You violate rules, you get axed. They have a draft. They have a way to make talent equal, which I don't think college football should follow, but still, the NFL is a good product, and it's honest in what it presents itself as. This right here, this is not college football. It's not. And, oh, well, what if Miami goes on a run, or what if Ole Miss goes on a... Are you kidding me? They wouldn't go on runs. Miami has no defense. What would happen when they face Texas, or if they get by Texas? What if they played Georgia, who has way better trench talent than they do and way better coaching? What if they then, well, at least they got past Georgia. Well, what happens when they play Ohio State? I mean, Jeremiah Smith would go for 400 yards against that secondary. And then for Ole Miss, they play Notre Dame. No, they don't even play Notre Dame. Sorry, they play Penn State. Abdul Carter would sack Jackson Dart 10 times. He'd get hurt. Austin Simmons would come in. He'd get injured. And it'd be like 20-10 in Penn. It would look like Penn State, Illinois from week 4. Ole Miss is way better than Illinois, of course. But as I've talked about beforehand, and as everyone knows, college football teams toward the top begin to get exponentially better than those even just a few placements behind them. Number 1 is further away from number 5 than number 5 is away from number 15, usually. That may change with the portal and with some teams adopting really good NIL strategies. I'm going to set this down because you've seen it all, and at this point it's, somewhat useless and redundant. But you get the point as I just use that visual aid there. It's horrible. This system is not going to do any good for the sport of football. It'd be better to keep the 12-team format with the straight seeding than do whatever that is, where there aren't, an adequate amount of, at-large bids. At-large bids are what make the sport good. Automatic bids are garbage. They are. Because you know what would have happened? If there was another auto bid for the Big 12? You know what happened there? You would have taken South Carolina out, and you would have replaced them with either BYU or Colorado. That would have been even worse quality TV. And maybe in a given year, where, Clemson, Miami, and SMU happened to make it inside the top 16, just happened to do so in 2024. Well, in a year where maybe Clemson is 17th and you have a really strong Michigan team along with 4 other good Big Ten teams, well, now you have to leave out one of the Big Ten teams to get an ACC team in that doesn't have a defense, that lets Texas run for 300 yards even though Texas couldn't run all year, and you have even worse TV product. They're not even thinking this through. In part, they think they are. They think they're intelligent with, their degrees and previous jobs and all this different stuff, but they're not even thinking through it properly. They're not. You want to maximize eyeballs? You want to, ensure that the biggest fan bases are watching? Well, don't give any auto bids to the ACC or the Big 12. Do it all SEC and all Big 10 and include Florida State, Clemson, and Miami or something. You won't have a single Big 12 team there. If you want to do it for the good of the sport and at the same time, while making it an entertaining product, you want to maximize eyeballs, do all of the bids to the playoff as at-larges. Just do the 16 best teams. And you know what? Most years, you will get a group of 5 in there as one of the lower seeds, sure, but they'll get in. You'll probably get the ACC champion or 2 ACC teams because they have Miami, Florida State, Clemson, and some more teams that have enough resources or history to pop up every once in a while. You'll maybe get a Big 12 team or 2, and then it'll be mostly Big 10 and SEC, yeah, but those are the best teams on an average basis for now. And speaking of the for now, maybe the ACC or Big 12 miraculously surpasses one of the Big 10 or SEC. Probably not at the top, but maybe in terms of their top 6 has more quality and substance to it than the Big Ten's top 6 in a given year somehow. Then you're not locked in this awkward arrangement where you are giving auto bids to teams that have no chance and leaving out teams that have a better chance, if you get what I'm saying. Regardless, typically only the top 8 teams at the very best, and at the very worst, the top 2 teams have a realistic shot of winning it all anyway by the time the season rolls around, due to injuries, due to exhaustion, due to some teams being mentally broken while others get mentally stronger the more they win. There's a variety of factors, and maybe I'm rambling on here. But this is ridiculous. If you're going to do a 16-team playoff, Just keep it at 4 rounds. Play the first 8 games in the first round, and then advance beyond that. Don't do double buys. In fact, don't do any buys. Don't make it more complicated than it has to be. And please, make it all at-larges. This proposed 16-team bracket sucks. This is something that's worth boycotting. Even though I won't, and even though many of you won't. But if there is going to be someone who is, it's worth it. It's more worth it than conference realignment, which has always been a part of college football and will always remain so. It's better than NIL, where players rightfully deserve to get compensated for their name, image, and likeness. And it's better than protesting, trying CFP expansion. We tried the 12-team format. Didn't work. They made a good adjustment with straight seeding. Don't do this. A 16-team format with play-in games and double buys, which I think would undo all the goodwill of straight seeding.